You're being insultive, and I think that's unfair.
Same rules is for everybody.
I didn't do nothing to you.
There is a sign somewhere.
My volume, you said.
You put the volume down.
You said my volume was loud. I said, I'm sorry. Brought it down.
Yeah, but
and you start talking about you people.
It doesn't.
Why should I turn off? Why should I turn off my phone for you?
It's not enough if you say.
It's rude. It's rude. No. It's rude if you talk to me and be like, yeah, you people. That's rude. Don't do that to me. I don't know you.
Don't you do that to me?
I don't know you there.
I don't know you.
That's rude.
It doesn't. That's not the question. The question is the rules is for everybody.
My volume wasn't even
Same
loud.
rules for everybody.
I don't gotta turn off my phone for you. I'm sorry. Did you hear anything from my phone?
You don't need to. Close your phone, but put the volume down. That's
You
the
don't.
only
She's
question.
being racist right now.
Every
You
time the
people.
same thing. If you say something, it's for hours.
Are you okay?
Can you stop it?
Did somebody hurt you?
Can you stop it? Yeah, you people do that.
Always
every
you
day.
people.
Every day I need to say these same things.
Lady,
It's
if you
always-
have a problem with my skin, you can use the next
No,
stop.
I don't have a problem.
Then stop treating me like I'm not a person.
Quiet.
No, I will not be quiet.
I mean,
You're not
listen.
gonna bully me into silence, ma'am.
No.
I have rights to be here.
Can you listen to me?
No, I won't. You listen. You've been very
Put your
rude.
finger
You
down.
have to stop it.
It might be weird, but I've been making an effort to try to see the world through the eyes of Black Americans. And I wanted to share a couple of things that I've learned so far. I'm John. I make content that tries to model empathy and curiosity for our social differences. Number one on the list, Black people don't hate me. I guess I didn't know necessarily how they would react, knowing all of our history. But yes, they see my white face. Yes, they know history. But one of my friends said one time, if you're cool with us, we're cool with you. And that made a lot of sense to me. Number two, many Black people don't feel comfortable in white spaces. This is something I discovered by posting videos and all the comments. Many people said they may feel, or it may appear that they're comfortable. They may look relaxed, but there's just kind of a vibe that they don't belong there. Maybe it's unfortunately sometimes explicit, but vast majority is probably more like microaggressions that people don't even realize. But there's that. Number three, Black history is American history. They corrected me on this early on, and it's because it's not that we don't want to have a designation for understanding the history and the experiences of Black Americans, but it's more like when we call it Black history, that implies that it doesn't belong to anyone else. Whereas if you really think about it, slavery, for example, that's more like white history than Black history. Number four, I shouldn't focus on all the bad stuff so much. When I'm making videos, try to explore our worlds. I do have a tendency, maybe it's my own curiosity or maybe it's my biases, to focus on slavery and discrimination and segregation. And people have told me, hey, look, we do want people to understand those things better, but we also don't want to be defined by that. So I also need to focus on the amazing and greatness of Black people and their contributions in our country. Number five, they know I have blind spots of my own and they're okay with that. It's more like, what's my attitude about it? Am I aware or trying to be aware? Do I have some humility about it? Am I open to learning? Or do I have a vibe like, I don't even care if I have blind spots. I don't care how they come across to you. That's a big difference. And number six, Black people don't want revenge. They want to live life abundantly. Yes, they want to live in a fair society. They don't want harms and injustice and flawed systems to be papered over or denied. They want accountability, but more than anything, they just want to live and be themselves and have fun and feel like they belong here. Not just on paper, but they feel it. Anyway, I'm learning a lot and it's been a great journey and I'm going to continue and I'll share some more when I learn.
Bro, being a BLK person in a YT work environment, that shit is so exhausting. Like, first of all, you got to come to work and you got to be giggly and smiley all damn day. And I'm not saying that there was something wrong with being, happy and coming to work. But, bro, I don't walk around with a smile on my face all day long. Like, I just don't walk around just cheesing all damn day. And then when you don't walk around all giggly and smiley, they get upset and feel like something is wrong with you, or you're being mean and you're being rude because you don't have a smile on your face. Like, most of us do not walk around just hee ha ha all day. We just don't. Some of us just naturally just have a normal looking face. And then having to walk around and put on that white tee voice all day long. It is crazy that we consider that as being professional. Like, it's crazy that we really deem this "hi, how are you doing" voice as being professional. And I noticed that all BOK people have a tendency of talking like that. Bro, that shit is so exhausting. Then if I talk in my normal voice, I'm considered as, oh, you're not being friendly, or you're being rude, or you're coming off as being rude. And I'm like, bro, I'm just being myself. I'm not mad just because I'm not smiling all day. I'm not angry because of my voice and I'm talking in my regular voice. But that shit is very exhausting, having to do that shit every single day at work.
I have a genuine question for Black women. Specifically, so if you're not a Black woman or a woman of color, please don't comment on this video. Maybe look at the comments if this video gets any traction, but I really only want to be hearing from Black women and women of color. Because I've seen a lot about the blue bracelets on this app, and I think we're all in agreement that it's very performative and it isn't actually something that is for Black women. It signifies to us, women who look like me, that we voted blue. But what I really want to know is, Black women, what makes you feel safe when we're in shared spaces? What can I do, and those in my circles do, to make you feel seen and heard and safe when we are in shared space?
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you're watching me from. I'm your host and presenter, Genetic Stories. There's a topic that I want us to talk about. Oftentimes you've seen videos where, especially in public spaces, where you see a white person and a Black person have a confrontation. Probably there's some domestic issues, but through those domestic issues, there is a huge revelation on how white people think about Black people. It is usually about you people, right? And so, to their mind, Black people are a problematic group of people, that they don't want them in their spaces. They don't want to interact with them. They don't want to meet with them. I'm not speaking for all white people. There are white people who are good, honestly saying. But we have to address the majority of them that sometimes act in a given way, which makes Black people not to feel safe or not feel accepted in these white spaces. Not that Black people want acceptance from them, but sometimes life forces you to be in these places. For example, you're working under the same space with white people. There are some things that they go through as workers, or there are some things that they face as workers that makes it so much difficult for them and their survival in these spaces. And so these are the things that we are going to discuss. And I'm going to be hosting people that are going to share their experiences and how unsafe they feel in these places. And probably you've seen just a white man or a white woman just minding their business inside their car, and then a Karen comes and start asking or start calling police on them and start saying that, why are you doing in this hood? You don't belong here. And yet these people belong in these premises. Also, I've seen a clip, or I've seen a video where a rich Black man drives a supercar, right? You know, we have supercars in the United States and we have normal car. So this Black man lives in a white neighborhood, and the police stops him and they're like, we are doing a search and we are suspecting that you're dealing in an illegal business, and so we have to do a thorough search. And so they walk out, they try to move the dog around ridiculously. So many times the dog doesn't detect anything, but they ridiculously continue moving the dog around. And the man says that, this is a problem of having a lot of money as a Black person, and you reaching in and you living in a white neighborhood. They don't believe that a white person can be in those rich hoods of them. And so for a white person to be, for a Black person to be rich, and in the places that they live, it's so much a problem. And so Black people usually don't feel safe in these places. But Black people, we have one problem. And the problem that we have is always going to these spaces that we are not invited, going to these spaces that we are not allowed. That's one feature of us that I would like to talk about. But at the end of the day, I want to short this video, and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. And so if you're watching me for the first time, I'm asking you to please subscribe to the channel, join the membership, and really get to see what I can offer you. For those who wish to buy me a coffee through my Cash App, I'll be really grateful for the support that you are giving me. For those who are supporting the channel by liking, subscribing, commenting, man, I'm really grateful for the support that you are giving this channel. But until then, let's watch the video. I'll be back, and then I'll be sharing my thoughts in regards to this. And so, brothers and sisters, let's get into it. I'll be back.
In Cape Town, I've noticed that the white and colored people are not used to black people speaking to them so directly. Now, thanks to my cousin, we got to take a trip to the Cape of Good Hope. It's a place that I've always wanted to see. I've always looked at it on the map and was just strangely always attracted and interested in going there. So to my surprise, we got to go there for one of the trips that we had while we were in Cape Town. Now, one of the pit stops we had, use the restroom, get a bite to eat, take in the views. It was a lot of people because, of course, it's a famous place that people go to. And, people are hungry. So, naturally, our group, it's like 25 of us. We're going to get something to eat. Now, of course, a lot of the workers were black. But you can tell the main manager, she was like a colored Indian woman. No issue, whatever, we're going up, we're taking our order. Now, I guess she's getting irritated that there's so many, of our group coming in, of black people. I don't know what the issue was, but she was annoyed and she tried to stop the line as soon as 3 people. So naturally, we were like, no, if you're going to do that, you need to wait to finish the entire line first. And then at that point in the line to say, hey, we're not taking any more orders on this line. She found out real quick because when she tried to talk to my older aunt that way, of course, we're all stepping in like, no, you're not going to talk to our people like that. Then as I stepped up to get my order, I was getting my order taken from the black woman who was also on the cashier line. And I noticed there was this Indian woman who's like, putting her stuff down on the thing. Mind you, me and her are not in the same group. We're not together. And personally, in terms of personal space and I'm taking my order, I'm getting serviced right now. This is not the point for you to move and move in with your thing. So I respectfully told her, excuse me, ma'am, I'm getting my order taken. Can you please move back? And in her shock, I guess, she moved herself. She's like, oh, I'm sorry or whatever. But across the board, I've noticed in Cape Town, they are not used to black people speaking so directly to them. And I'm sure it did not help that there was an entire group of us that were there when it came to my group that was clearly letting them know. Even waiting for our order, people were trying to push past us when we were getting our food. And we're like, excuse me, you do not push past people that way. I mean, even the airport too, as we're flying into our next destination, pushing our belongings out of the seats to have a place to sit. No. There's 25 of us. People are sitting here. Obviously, the mere fact how people are putting their belongings in certain seats, that is not your chance to just move things out the way just because you feel that you belong to be sitting someplace. You do not speak to us any old kind of way. You do not service us any old kind of way. We're not accepting just anything. If you're giving good service, you need to provide good service to everyone. And we made that abundantly clear. And I can kind of see the kind of smirk that the black woman who was behind the cashier, she was kind of like, oh, y'all thought y'all was going to play this like y'all do anybody else, but no, they ain't having it. The black Americans ain't never going to have that. And even how the colored Indian one was even talking to the employees there, it's a lot of people getting the orders, not just our group. There was other groups of white people and everyone else. And it's just kind of yes, this might be a high tension time if you're just trying to get out orders, but you do not speak to people that way, regardless of whether they're working under you, beside you, or whatever the case is. And our group just did not appreciate that. And that's really what we kind of noticed as we were navigating through Cape Town. So those are just my observations.
Why black people are not comfortable in predominantly white spaces. Yes, I'm wearing my bonnet, okay? I'm tired. Je suis fatigué. Anyway, so for me, when I'm in a predominantly white space, work environment, white party, whatever, I know that as soon as something racist or a microaggression happens, no one's got my back. It's me against Karen, or unless someone verbally expresses that, you know, they're an ally, they got me, I got no one. So if something breaks out, I know that calling the person racist is probably not the best decision to make. Because one, it's gonna be an uncomfortable environment and atmosphere. If I have friends there, they may or may not be understanding, may or may not say that it's exaggerating, gaslighting. You can just see by my expression, it's just already making me tired. I'm already tired enough. But if there's one other black person, at least if I see another black person looking at me because they are in distress, I will help you. I know some black people are like, no, you're on your own. I mean, fair enough, you know. But when there's other black people, you just know you're okay. You're okay. And if it's a party, you know you're gonna have a good time. You know, like earlier today in the office, there was a bunch of black people in the kitchen. And I was very tempted to say, is this like a reunion with like black people? Can I join in? But I really felt like they were gonna look at me weirdly, you know, so I stopped myself. I kind of regret it now. But yes, if you're an ally, just say it, man. Just say it. If you hear Karen say, oh, is that your real hair? Look at Karen and be like, I don't think that Zaya actually likes that kind of comment because it's very obvious that it is her hair. And even if it isn't, is it any of your goddamn business? So yes, allies, unite. Make your identity known. You're not Batman, you're not Superman. So just make yourself known.
I saw a video saying that white people and black people are not friends because most of the time white people are not willing to go to black spaces and share their cultures with them. White people are normally only okay with having a black friend as long as that black friend is fully dissolved in whiteness and only goes to the white spaces and white events with them. And as a person of color who's living in the United States and has been in lots of white spaces, I went to school. I was in a very white-centric state, and I went to school and I married one, and I have worked with a lot of them, and I have really lived amongst them. And as a person of color, I want to tell you that for a long time, I felt like I was really accepted amongst the white people, but then I realized I'm only accepted when I act like one. Like my white family, my white coworkers, classmates, friends never ask me about my origin, never want to know more about my culture, never celebrate my events with me. They just want me as long as I don't show 1 ounce of non-Americanness. And I'm only accepted and included when I'm acting like one, not my wholeness as a woman, as a person who's not from this culture is not accepted. And I find the white liberals the most insufferable group because they think they're doing so well. They think they're doing so well. They can't, like, I find them the most ignorant one because they are so assured of themselves that they've done well. They don't even question how they might appear to other people. They don't question that.
Black women, what makes you feel safe when we're in shared space?
Hi there. I'm going to answer your question with 3 different personal stories. Story 1. I was 8 years old in a Walmart in Vicksburg, Mississippi. I happened to be shopping with my grandmother, and she allowed me and my aunt to go over to the kids' aisle to look at Barbie dolls. This young white boy walked past me, didn't say a thing to me. I didn't say a thing to him, but he quickly went to his mother. Shortly afterwards, his mother and him approached my grandmother to tell them that I had cursed her son out. Because this was a white woman with her white child, instead of defending me, my grandmother scolded me without hearing the truth. She then pulled me to leave out of Walmart. Once I told my grandmother I never said anything to that boy, and my aunt even defended me, my grandmother said, yeah, but we can't say anything to them. So early on, I was taught that even if I'm right and they're wrong, we don't tell them that. Fast forward to my senior year in high school, we moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. Actually, my mother left, and then I went and joined her before the Christmas break. My world history class had chains going around the border of the room.
And in between the chains where the corners would be in the room were black people's hands bound together. I had a white male world history teacher. At this same school, students were caught spraying the N-word on some black children's lockers, and they weren't reprimanded for it. It's just horseplay, kids being kids. In this school, they had what was called the senior pit. I had 2 younger brothers who attended the school with me, and they were terrified to step into the senior pit because apparently they could get jumped on or tossed out. In my family, I was known for fighting the boys because there were not a lot of girls on my dad's side of the family, so I was real tough. So me telling my brothers that you all can come sit in the senior pit with me because I am indeed a senior was a bad call. But my brothers knew that if anything happened, I got them. 3 white male athletes decided to approach my brothers and say something to them. When I told them, you might want to back the fuck off and leave them alone, they got real offensive and called me the N-word. And since my world history book was the biggest book in my backpack, I made sure the boy that called me that got hit in the throat real hard with it. My now deceased little brother was a licensed boxer, so they had hell on their hands. 2 fractured ribs, fractured collarbone, bruised eye socket later, they tried to suspend us. And they also said they were going to press charges because we could have killed those 3 boys. But because my brothers are my mother's favorites, it didn't go down like that. I was still a brand new student to the school, and all of my teachers advocated, saying that she's very quiet. She barely talks in class. My deceased brother, on the other hand, was hell on wheels. They all knew him. I stayed at that school for a month and a half. When Christmas break started, I took my ass back to Mississippi. Story number 3, I worked at 24 Hour Fitness out of Memphis, Tennessee, and that was my first fitness job coming out as an instructor. One of the white female instructors that had been there for a while felt like she was the only person that should be glorified or be able to tell other people whose classes to go to and whose not to. After a month and a half of working for 24 Hour Fitness, I then received the Group Fitness of the Month award, and she was mortified because she felt that I should not have received that because I was new and because I didn't look qualified. Once my Instructor of the Month picture went up in a picture frame at the front desk, she was overheard snickering to one of her other little friends, saying the only reason they gave it to her is because she's black. Once it was brought back to me that she had said this, I went to our group fitness director, not to tell on her, but to ask, can I implement something in my class that would run for a month? I guaranteed my group fitness director that it would increase the numbers in the group fitness classes that I taught and would also bring them new memberships. She told me absolutely. If it's going to benefit the club, she's all for it. I implemented a bingo into my class, which included you can get 2 marks if you bring brand new people, if they sign up, and then if they bring a friend, you get put in the raffle for a prize. I paid for a 6-month membership out of my own pocket to give away. One person was drawn, and majority of her students stopped going to her classes and started coming to mine, as well as the 55 memberships that I was able to secure for 24 Hour Fitness. So when I got Instructor of the Month, the next 2 months, and they asked me to say something, I said, well, I guess I didn't get it just because I was black. So with that being said, if you were in my shoes and you've dealt with a lifelong of discrimination done by Caucasian Americans, how would you answer that question?
White people are just so invasive. It's like...
She's literally not lying. Hi, my name is Robin and I'm back to stir the pot. This is so true, and I literally had an experience like this last week. I was in the supermarket. I was literally getting the last of my groceries. Like, I just needed to pick up one thing, and these 2 white people were in the aisle that I was in, the butter aisle. As I'm walking towards them, I have a gay pride mask on, just minding my business on the phone with my partner. And I kid you not, this white man who was having a normal conversation with this white lady literally proceeds to step in front of my cart, stop me, and just go off about, oh my god, yes, slay queen, yes, oh my god, gay rights, FDNG, like just being so extremely flamboyant. And it really got on my nerves because then he had the audacity to come from around the cart after stepping in front of it to stop me, to tell me this, to then hitting my arm and hitting my shoulders and hitting my like side to like show camaraderie. And it's like, you don't know me, so why do you feel like you can do this, considering you were just having a normal conversation with the other lady?
Man, white people won't give you no space.
No, but I really want to know the psychology of why are y'all so okay with being that close to a stranger in a situation that does not require you to be close to another stranger? So what happened to me today is I was in CVS waiting in line. When I walked up, there's already someone waiting there, so I stood behind them, but I gave them a few feet, like plenty of space, right? And then up walks a man, and he stands behind me. Now, initially, I don't know exactly how close he is to me, but you know how you can feel someone's presence. Now, we were in line for a few minutes. They were a little busy. And at one point, I guess he breathed like a heavy sigh. And when I tell you, I felt his breath on the back of my neck. The back of my neck. The air from his mouth. On the back of my neck. Why would you ever want to be that close up on somebody? We're just standing here. What if I pooted? Back up.
To all our fellow white Americans that are now starting their own communities, your own white communities and stuff like that, please understand black people are not mad about it. I saw a video where a man was saying he can't understand why black people are mad. What black people is mad? Sir, we are not mad. Please understand that. We just want to know where these locations are so that we can avoid them. We're going to mark them on our black maps so that our maps will never take us to those locations. Okay? We are not mad. Build your communities. Put a wall around it. Stay in them. Separate yourself. Thank you so much.
Here are the 5 things I would never do being black in corporate America. I will never disclose all of my personal details. What'd you do this last weekend? The same thing I've been doing the last 8 weekends. Don't ask me. I chilled, I read, and I minded my business. What's up? Why you want to know? Okay. The second thing, I will never make a mistake and not own it. You own it and correct it immediately, because your one mistake is equivalent to 6 of their mistakes. Do you understand what I just told you? Don't you ever make a mistake and not correct it. It's stressful and exhausting. Trust me, I know, but that's just the reality, okay? Number 3, I will never play the victim. I will always stand 10 toes down on what I said. And maybe that's just because I'm in senior management. That's just how I move. But I said what I said. I said what I said. I saw what I saw. I heard what I heard. I did what I did. Okay? Number 4, I will never not keep a paper trail. Are you kidding me? Do you know these people are conspiring against you? Like, what? You don't have a paper trail? You didn't screenshot that? It kills me. You will always cover your motherfucking ass. What? Like, anyway, that just behooves me. Number 5, I will never speak more than I listen. I will never speak more than I listen. I will always catch it. I will always be observing. I will always have my ear to the ground. You will not hear me just yapping off at the mouth. I am always, I'm on mute. I'm like, what the fuck? Huh? What? What? I just be in what did they just say? They just say the creepiest, most uncomfortable shit. We know who they is.
Something that will never not amuse me as a black woman walking is watching how many people will either walk right into me or walk towards me, expecting me to defer to them and move completely out of their way, even though I am walking on the right side of the sidewalk, and then act completely shocked, bamboozled, aghast that I do not defer to them, that I do not move out of their way. Maybe it's just me.
People like to not talk about situations where like black people are in predominantly white areas, but I'm gonna tell y'all about it. So for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been living in a predominantly white area, grew up in a predominantly black county, went to school at HBCU, so on and so forth. And then as an adult, I decided to move to a predominantly white area. I like the area, I like all that it come with, and I feel comfortable living there, and I still do. But I would say one thing, palm colored people are not so comfortable with me. And no matter how long they see me, they still are not that much comfortable. They would rather have conversations with my dog than have conversations with me. Like full-blown conversations in the hallways, at the dog parks, full-blown conversations with my dog, and never acknowledge me. Like, I'd be like, dang, you would really rather talk to an animal than to talk to me. And I used to be offended, but now I'm like, girl, go ahead. Sometimes I do snatch my dog and I keep walking if they make it like a thing. Like, you're not going to keep talking to my dog. You're not keep talking to my dog and not acknowledge the mama. We ain't even doing it like that, because you know what you're doing. They also do little things like jump scare when I come around the corner. Like, am I frightening to you? Are you afraid? They'll do things like not hold the elevator. And sometimes I walk slow just so we don't have to have that awkwardness, because sometimes I walk slow, sometimes I just put my hand in there and open the elevator up. Like, did you think you thought you was about to leave me down here? Open this elevator up. I pay rent. What else do they do? Of course not speak. Sometimes we see each other in a hallway. Like, they will like look at the ceiling, look at the floor, look to the side. Like, I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Because I'm comfortable and I ain't going nowhere. You're uncomfortable for what? But those are just a few things that I've learned while living in a predominantly white community. And I'm not going nowhere because I love it. I love it. And I don't understand why they're uncomfortable. It's not just me. It's a few of my people sprinkled out throughout my neighborhood and stuff. But we very, very near and few. But we ain't here.
One of the biggest realizations I've had as a Black girl who grew up in predominantly white spaces is the fact that A, a lot of your white friends are actually racist, and B, a lot of your white friends are complicit with racism, benefit from it, or are too comfortable with racism to ever say anything. I started to come to this realization during the BLM protests, and this theory has been even furthered with the ICE raids that are currently happening right now. And this complicitness comes in forms of A, having that racist boyfriend that says the N-word and is like so awful and will absolutely do nothing about it, or B, never standing up for anything, never saying anything. I'm not asking you to be like a civil rights leader, this, that, and the third. But a lot of white people are very, very comfortable with what the benefits are through racism. So they will never, ever say anything. They will continue to have people in their circle that are very, very racist people. I will never forget growing up when I went to the mall with this girl and she told me something. She was like, I'm so happy you're not like the others. And then I asked her, what do you mean by the others? And she was like, you know, other Black people, like always sagging their pants and just like the way they act and just this, that, and the third. I was appalled. And this is somebody I thought was like a really good friend of mine. This is so normal. A lot of white people have such biased beliefs, such stereotypes like ingrained in them. They don't even think twice about it. I find this phenomenon so interesting because it really shows that at the end of the day, a lot of humans are just out for themselves and are just going to be thinking about themselves. They're not going to speak up for you in a room full of people that look like them. That would take lots of guts. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that.
One thing I hate about working in an all-white space is the fact that you can never have a bad day without them thinking that it's about them. Like, I can never have a bad day coming to work and just be quiet and do my job because they will think that I am being rude. Or just I have an attitude. I was quiet for 2 shifts straight or told them to transfer me upstairs and they literally told everybody else, he's just been in such a mood lately. Are you serious? Like, no, mind you, nobody asked. They just, I guess they kind of backed off, but then they started talking amongst themselves like, Justin's not in a good mood. I don't know what's going on.
Me growing up with white friends, it introduced me to the real world. And I can give you a small example. Like, I noticed, like, at a young age, like, even as small as, like, arguments, right? You go to a hood, you know, you'll have a little argument, this, that, and the third or whatever. If they say something that you disagree with and you say something they disagree with, the argument go on long enough, a motherfucker just gonna sit there and say, well, I knocked you the fuck out. It depends on how stupid you made him look. Yeah. And of course that's subjective though, because maybe I can just be correcting you. I'm not even trying to make you feel stupid. But if I correct you in front of a lot of people, now it turns out I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
Yeah. Sure.
And if you can't beat that person, who lost the argument?
The person that you get knocked out.
So that example, taking that to my white friends, I noticed that, like, of course, like, you know, I'm from the hood. I'm a little more aggressive though, so I can beat a lot of my white friends. But they used to make me feel stupid the more aggressive that I used to get.
Yeah.
So that just be, and you know, I just didn't want to like be like an outcast to him, or like, damn, I don't want, you know, him coming, so let's move, or you know what I mean. Don't nobody want to be around somebody like that. So it just forced me to, you know, quote unquote, get to know the real world, and just forced me how to, you know, communicate and conduct myself a little better.
Yeah.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing great from wherever you watch me from. The problems or the challenges that black people navigate in white spaces, it's something that needs a scholarly lens. It's something that needs to be discussed. But this is something that has not started today. The lack of safety that black people usually feel when they go to these places, it's something that doesn't start. It didn't begin today. I like to recall the history or the story of the sundown towns, and when life was so much hard for black people. And remember, even during slavery and segregation, by default, the system was designed to make black people be inferior to white people. And so even in the modern day, seeing black people in white neighborhoods kind of sends shockwaves to these people. I'm not trying to separate, or I'm not trying to hate, but when you go to a predominantly white space, you get to realize that in case a problem happens, the first person that they usually suspect is usually a black person. This happens oftentimes. This usually happens, and I've seen it through movies. And I'm not saying that the movies are accurate or something, but it is a depiction of how these people presume or view black people. And then especially, they see them as people who are problem causers. And if something wrong happens in a white neighborhood, especially when there are black people, they usually call the police and say it is a black person that they have seen, even though a black person is just walking around, like just walking in this neighborhood, and it's just walking. I mean, it's just roaming. Maybe it's from work, or maybe it's just trying to clear their mind, or maybe it's just trying to do something. 911, what's your emergency? I'm seeing a black dude with a black hood trying to walk around. Can you come can you come see what's wrong? I'm really feeling insecurity. That's how they say. And so when they do this, you get to realize that there's so much insecurity that they are posing towards black people. Another instance that black people struggle when they are in white spaces is in workspaces. And I've heard, or people have shared with me, especially black Americans that I've interacted with, especially for a long time now. Okay, this is what happens. People are at a job space. They are always constant finding problem towards you. They're always finding reasons to fire you, right? And so the best way, or the best thing to do is to not talk to them, but just mind your business, come work, don't share, don't talk. Because the moment you start sharing, the moment you start talking, that's when they'll find something that they'll pin against you. And when they do that, you'll be held accountable for the things that you did not do, or for the things that you said. And you know that you just meant well for these people. And so it becomes so much difficult for survival. Also, there are so many things that black people really find it difficult to cope up with, especially in white spaces. And remember, I explained some of them. First that I explained was being accused of the things that they didn't do, being seen as a person who should not be there, because by default, they don't expect a black person to be in white spaces to cope up with them. We are seeing states like Arkansas. We are seeing all these whites only? Why do you think that it's whites only? Because presumably they believe that they are great and they can do better when they are alone. They can do better when they practice their customs, when they are, when they practice what what they believe in, and as a result, they don't see the need for you. A black person. For you, you'll be a nuisance to them. You'll cause problems, and so they believe that their order is the real order, and now they don't want black people in their spaces. Brothers and sisters, please let me know what you think and feel about this. That's all I had to share in regards to this. You can add what you feel I've left behind. Please let me know what you think and what you feel about this video. But until then, let me see you on my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.